You are tuned in to BBC Radio London. I am in for Shay Kaur and with you till 6. Look, I don't know about you, but it feels like summer. Well, it did at lunchtime. It did feel like summer may have started. Just a little bit. I can't guarantee it, but it does feel like we've got some warmer weather on the way. And you know what that means? It means time for a picnic. Now, I'm just going to lean across and just get you to move that microphone right back. That's the beautiful. I'm doing that to my wonderful, gorgeous guest, Vanessa Sturman. You are a plant-based health coach and expert speaker. Is that correct?
That is right. And I'm very excited to be here to talk about picnics and such.
Thank you so much. You are here as our normal school run moment. So what we like to do on the programme is give a little, I think, help, assistance, top tips for the incredible parents out there listening who around this time may be on the school run. So you are here because it's picnic weather, and picnic weather normally means sausage rolls and maybe little sausages and various things that are very not veggie. And you have got plant-based alternatives for us, so the kids could enjoy something super healthy but also very tasty. So tell me more about you with your plant-based coach expertise. What would you immediately think when you think of a picnic?
Ooh, when I think of a picnic, I think, first of all, and this has got to be the case with all food, I think tasty, I think fun, I think colourful, I think being able to pick up with my fingers and have lots of different bits, but also being able to have something, let's face it, balance. It's going to fill me up. I want to sit on that grass all day. I want some lovely sources of protein. I want some brilliant carbs in there. I want some lovely veggie things. I want cake. I want to have cake with that as well. And yeah, I have brought cake with me. So, I mean, we're covered.
Oh, this is such a great afternoon. I thought they were just going to torture me and make me talk to you and not enjoy food. This has just all gotten so much better, so much quicker. So, Vanessa, again, we'll talk about this incredibly delicious spread you've got in front of us in a second. But when it comes to you in your life, when did that plant-based switch turn, or have you always been vegetarian and then vegan?
No, so I was a proper meat eater, fish eater, and I'll really say I was always a food lover. And I think that's really, really important, because this is not about a lesser choice or blander food. If you've always been a food lover, you love flavour, you love abundance, you love sharing. I went plant-based 8 years ago and realised actually I can do all the food that I did before and much healthier and tastier, but plant-based. You know, if you're worried about protein, there's loads of protein you can get from plants and all the nutrients you need. And in fact, more of the nutrients you need, because our gut feeds off fibre. And that's what I learned and thought, wow, for my health, for energy levels, for longevity, for the planet, for the animals, right, I'm going to do this plant-based stuff. And the benefits I've had have been so incredible, and the food has been so amazing that I teach it to other people now.
This is a really, really important thing, actually. Underrated fibre. Okay, I'm not going to preach. I'm not preaching everyone turning around dropping their ham sandwich. I don't mean that. I'm just saying that as a society, we have fallen out of touch with the basics of food. And one of the basics of food is fibre. It fills you up. It's good for your system. It means you don't get hungry quickly. It really helps to nourish your body. And I know you think, oh, it's just filler. It's not. We need it. We need it to help all our bits and pieces inside work well. Have I got that right, Vanessa?
You really, really have. And what I want to say to everyone out there, because this is so important, is that to get the benefits, you don't have to go fully plant-based. And I think that's sometimes the worry with the diet industry. It's, well, you've got to do completely this or completely that. The approach I take is...
I'm going to say this to you. Almond milk really just tastes of disappointment to me.
And you know what? And that is totally fine, because there is oat milk, cashew milk, soya milk. There is every kind of plant milk you can imagine. So you can find what you love. Okay. And what's great is that, you know, we all can get more fibre, more whole foods into our diet, and we'll get the benefits without us worrying about, I've got to be this label or that label, or I'm not perfect. It's not about that. I'm going to say it is about enjoyment of amazing food.
Okay. I'm just, bear with me, everybody. I'm moving the microphone up because Vanessa is on the other side of the desk and I've got various screens in my way. What I can tell you, there is cake. There is cake. Could you please introduce us to the beautiful things I'm looking at first?
Yes. Absolutely. So we have roasted chickpeas. Now, these are great as a snack. They're great as croutons. They're great on salad. They are so lovely. You can flavour them how you want. So
Quick
you
question.
can go for it.
Quick question. Question one from me. Do you get them in a tin already done, or do you soak them overnight, your chickpeas?
Either. So they have to be cooked. So they're either from a tin or you do the whole soaking thing, but you must also cook them if you soak them. And then you've got the same thing, whether it's from a tin or whether you've cooked it. So they're a cooked chickpea. I've put different spices on a few of these. You've got a selection here.
Oh.
And they are lovely as a much healthier, high protein, high fibre snack. So chickpeas have a lot of fibre.
So ditch the crisps.
Or have less of the crisps. We can have some crisps. These are a great alternative. So nothing's off the table. It's about getting in more whole foods.
Oh, Vanessa, I love this. She's not talking about deficit. It's not about taking away. It's about adding something really healthy in there that is tasty. So tell me about the ways what you've added to your roasted chickpeas, please.
So one of them is a plain with just a small amount of salt. And this is the thing. You can control how much salt goes in any of these and keep it as low as possible.
Hand them over.
Try some of these.
Okay, so we've got just a pretty
it's a very plain one. You could even cover those with the plain ones with like a bit of cocoa powder and have them as a healthier breakfast cereal.
Wait, I can make these sweet.
Yeah, with a bit of desiccated coconut.
No, I did know I can turn them into a chocolate brownie. I did know that.
You can turn like black beans into a chocolate brownie, and it'll work with other beans as well, like chickpeas. So they're so versatile, and this is the thing with plant-based food. It's how we flavour it.
Okay.
These are flavoured with a bit of curry powder.
I'm glad that you're talking because no one wants to hear me with a full mouth. Nobody.
I was going to say, I hope they don't make me eat because I'll have my mouth full.
Okay, hang on. Just so everyone can hear those.
And they're nice and crunchy. This is the thing. So they have that lovely, satisfying crunch. Even if you topped some very smooth hummus with these, you get that nice contrast between the smooth and the crunchy.
Is that just an average curry powder?
Literally got it out of my cupboard last night and went, what shall I cover these with? Oh, I've got curry powder. I've got a smoked paprika one here for you to try as well.
Yeah, now we're talking.
We're going, aren't we?
That's one of my, smoked paprika is one of my underrated secret ingredients. Thank you so much, Vanessa. One of my underrated secret ingredients for anything you want to add a bit of punch. So when I make a vegetarian red sauce, a tomato sauce for pasta or something, a bit of smoked paprika will make it more meaty.
It does indeed. And even like a dash of soy sauce in those adds a little bit of what we call the savoury umami flavour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's tough to know, but all three of them are delicious. But I think it might be the curry powder. But these are beautiful and spicy as well.
Yes, well, sometimes paprika gives a little bit of a kick as well. And just a top tip for everyone who's struggling with time: when you dry your chickpeas out like this by roasting them, they last ages. I've taken them traveling with me in a little Tupperware so I could have them on the plane and stuff. And because you've taken all the water out, they're not going to go off, or even stick them in the fridge if you're worried. But they can last.
So I can do them on Sunday, pop them into one of those glass jars, and eat them Tuesday, Wednesday.
Well, probably Thursday, Friday, Saturdays. Obviously, use your taste buds to make sure nothing's gone off. But because you've taken all the water out, they'll last a really, really long time, so they're not going to go off.
I'm in a current conversation with a loved one about what you do instead of crisp snacks in the afternoon when you work from home a lot, because obviously the world's changed. And that is a really healthy alternative. And if you do go, because sometimes the mindless eating, a whole big grab bag disappears. You're like, where did that go? That's more like popcorn than it is crisps, because you've roasted them.
Yes, but it's got way more fibre in. It's going to feed your gut. You can choose whatever flavours you have so you don't get bored. And also, the more herbs and spices we use, the better it also is for our gut. So not only does it make our food taste amazing, it's also good for us and our gut.
That curry really was delicious. Right, I'm standing up. There's more beautiful food. What else do we have? Oh, my goodness, this is incredible.
I will describe what this is. I've got some fritters made with sweet corn and courgette. Now, they look like sort of mini burger patties. And I'm going to pass you one.
Got some, now, that looks like it's got some egg in there to hold them together, but it probably doesn't.
It doesn't. But traditionally, some people might have used egg, but you can actually use something called linseed. You may have heard it called flaxseed as well, which is also really good for you, full of good fats and full of more fibre that's really good for your gut as well. And that's what helps hold them together, along with chickpea flour.
Lindsay, this is delicious. I really don't want to use the phrase game changer, but goodness me.
Well, you've got a whole box of them to eat, so.
How has that not got... So that's chickpea flour, linseed or flaxseed, depending on what you want to call it, and sweet corn and
courgette. I've crushed up some extra garlic as well. You can also add herbs. And another top tip for saving money and using leftover food, you can use any veggies in these. So if you've got peppers left over, you can use those. You know, if you've got anything, not cucumber, not sort of a salad, but even like shredding a bit of cabbage. You know, I've put cabbage in these fritters before because it was just in the bottom of my fridge.
Genuinely, if you'd said to me, oh yeah, no, this is the one bit that isn't plant-based, Kat, I'll put some egg in there, I'd have believed you. This is delicious, and it's also got substance.
Yes.
When you have a normal fritter and there's a tortilla almost, it's like a tortilla I can't even think of the word. I'm too busy enjoying it. It feels or tastes like an egg tortilla, and it's not. And it feels it's substantial, it's filling, but it's really tasty. Also, by the way, she's given me some really lovely chili dipping sauce, and I promise you, one of the things I've learned about vegans is you guys know sauces.
We do indeed.
You know flavourings.
Flavour is so important, and that is also what makes our food fun. And like I was saying with the herbs, the more different flavours we have, so the more variety we get, means we get more of a variety of nutrients, more of a variety of kinds of fibre to feed our diversity of gut bacteria. So actually, the tastier and more lovely and more varied your food, the better it is for your health.
I honestly didn't want to give that back to you. I just handed that back and I was thinking, do I need to? She needs a Tupperware. That's really delicious. It genuinely is. And if I didn't think it was impolite to carry on eating on the radio, I would. They're really, really good. So actually, I've just had probably a little representation of 3 out of my 5 a day required as well.
Yes. Or the one challenge I will give is that it's more than 5 a day. It was a great. I'm sorry to do this, but you know, if you've got, so we want to get many, many more veggies and fruit into our diet. But if we have a couple of pieces of fruit at breakfast, we have these fritters plus some extra salad
and some
at lunch,
chickpeas and some salad.
It actually becomes a lot easier than we thought.
It's not even 5 a day, is it? It's just lots a day.
It's just more like lots a day. And variety. Variety is very, very important. But like you were saying about fibre, because it does fill us up so much and it's so good for us, when we start realising how good we feel by eating more of these kinds of foods, the benefits we feel make us do it more.
Let's bring this back to little people and picnics. So again, how hard is it to make those? I keep calling them fritters, and they're not.
They are sort of.
Did you fry them? How hard are they to put together?
They are really, really easy to put together. So I've done like online cooking classes that only took half an hour from start to finish to make a big batch of these. So you're literally chopping up your veg, putting it in a bowl, adding some, crushing some extra garlic in, maybe adding a few fresh herbs if you've got them. Chuck in your linseed. You don't even have to soak the linseed. You literally just sprinkle the linseed on. Then you add your gram flour, which is also known as chickpea flour. Mix it together. It starts kind of coming together into
kind of almost a batter-like.
A really light batter, one that's got substance to it. You make these into these little patties, as you see, and then you can fry, several of them in the pan at once, or put them in the air fryer for a completely oil-free version as well.
Goodness, yeah.
Or you can bake them, so you could do them all at once. It's really, really not hard. And again, these will last, a good few days. So you can make enough for a few meals. There's no need to be cooking every single day if you sort of bulk cook a bit more.
Vanessa, these, just going to tell the audience, these are a very healthy size, by the way. And if you're making food for children, 2 of these and they'd be really full, little ones, would really enjoyable, fill them up with a lovely salad if you can get the ingredients. But yeah, really, really lovely stuff. Thank you for that. Now, you said the magic C word, which is cake.
I
did. Let's talk about that, please.
Yes, I say that word a lot. It's something I really love. And it's so important to remember that anything that you have usually in your life, there's a plant-based version. Okay? And cake is one thing that I absolutely love. It's fantastic for sharing. And actually, the thing that we love about cake is the sponginess. It's got some sweetness. It's probably got chocolate. This one has chocolate. And chocolate originally comes from a plant. Isn't that the best news you have heard all day?
Yep, definitely.
Chocolate comes from a plant. And these ones are actually made with peanut butter instead of oil, so they're a bit healthier as well. They're still a treat, but they're healthier than the versions you'll get in the shops as well. These are a blondie, which is like a brownie but without the cocoa powder, but they've still got chunks of chocolate, so Nobody worry.
It's a blondie with chocolate.
It's a blondie with chocolate.
I love it.
Plus strawberries. You know what? I could only get frozen strawberries yesterday, but you can do raspberries if you found frozen raspberries. So you can also make this your own. You can use plant-based white chocolate instead of dark. You can use very, very dark chocolate for a healthier version, depending on, the kid's taste. But I think it's time I gave you one.
Yes, please. I've been so patient. I didn't even sit there. Now there's some small pieces and there are enormous pieces, and I'm going to go for the big enormous piece right here because you know what? I'm greedy. Okay, this looks really beautiful. And again, putting this together, big bowl, all the ingredients, then in the oven.
Pretty much, yes. So instead of egg, again, I have used linseed. And instead of butter, I've used peanut butter, basically. That's the fat in them. And the chocolate is plant-based chocolate.
Oh, my goodness, Vanessa. This is so good. I'll be clear. I will say it's a bit different than the texture I've had in other blondies. It's definitely more cakey.
It's a bit more cakey, this one. Maybe I should stop calling it a blondie and call it a...
Blondie cake.
Just call it a blondie cake.
But I'll tell you what. It tastes really good. And I would not have known if you had not told me. If you said, I'm going to finish up with a non-plant-based cake, I'd have gone, well, yes, that's about right. This does not. I can taste some peanut butter and the chocolate and the strawberries, but I couldn't tell you this was plant-based. This is amazing.
Brilliant. Thank you.
So delicious. And again, I reckon the kids would be into that. Is there a lot of sugar in this?
There's not a huge amount of sugar in it. And the recipe, you can have the recipes for any of these. And you can also choose if you want to reduce the sugar in it and even try it with half the amount of sugar or use dates in, blended up dates instead of the sugar. You can do that as well. And I think it's about finding your taste buds because it's very important to remember that when we're so used to a lot of processed food, we get quite used to high sugar and high salt content, but you can start training your taste buds quite quickly for less. So I even make these roasted chickpeas often without salt completely. You can just train your taste buds to really like them without anything on them. Still do all the spices if you want them, etc. And the same with the fritters. You could make those completely without salt. Some people might taste these and say, I need a bit more salt because they're so used to it. So when you cook your own food, you also get a bit more in charge of your taste buds and can say, I want to focus more on the herbs and spices and reduce the salt and sugar.
So let's quickly, before I let you go, let's bring this back to children. This was about a kids' picnic, even though I have eaten brilliantly. With this, I think it's really important not to make a big deal about it if you're trying to persuade children to try plant-based recipes. Just give them the food and let them enjoy it.
Yeah, I think that's the case with all good food. And we want to get kids eating more veggies, more whole foods. And if we can just think of them as wonderful, nourishing foods as opposed to, well, this is plant-based or this is vegan. That's what it is. It's just nourishing, wonderful food. It's in a nice shape that the kids will like. They can dip it in whatever they would like. They can even help shape these. You can get them involved in the cooking and some really, really simple things. And you can put in the veggies that they really like. So if the kids are going to worry when they see the green of the courgette, you might start them off just with the sweet corn version. So again, when you're cooking food, you're a lot more in charge of your taste buds, your family's taste buds, and making sure you're easing them into it in whatever way needs be for them and what they love.
I think that makes perfect sense. If people want to know more about what you do and yourself, how do they do that without being inappropriate? Are you on social media?
Yeah, so you can go to social media. I have a group on Facebook called How to Go Plant-Based. Now, despite the name, it's basically about how to get a wonderfully healthy gut, eat energizing food, tasty food. All the recipes are on there. And now it is whether you want to be fully plant-based or not. It is about health and wonderful, wonderful, delicious eating. Or you can find me on Instagram under Energize and Thrive Plant-Based.
A pleasure, a genuine pleasure to have nibbled at your gorgeous plant-based food and I've had a good old chinwag with you. Thank you so much. We so appreciate your time. Vanessa Sturman, who is a plant-based health coach and expert speaker. A pleasure to have you in studio. I'm not letting her leave with the food, so you know.